Hi guys, it's Chris Reed with the WPA, and I'm sitting here with Faraz, Jaka.
What up?
And we are in gorgeous Barcelona, Spain.
Here's y'all.
We are up at the rooftop bar, Edition Hotel. It's a little bit windy, as you can tell. But I just caught up with him and figured while we're here that maybe we would get a little interview going. So, Faraz, you have almost $7 million in cashes, and you are quite the poker coach, I hear, from lots of the ladies.
Thank you very much. Yeah. I started doing coaching like during COVID. You know, the tours were shut down, and I've always had a lot of people reach out to me, but didn't have time. So that kind of forced me to, hey, let's just go do this. And I had so much demand, and my calendar was full. So I was like, all right, why don't I turn this into a group coaching thing so I could help as many people as possible. So yeah, now we do like weekly group coaching sessions, we have training videos, and we actually have a lot of women in our group. It's jakacoaching.com, and a lot of them are crushing. Angela Jordison recently had a huge final table, got third place in the WSB bracelet event, and she's been crushing since.
I played with her in Vegas there in Venetian.
Yeah.
She's tough.
Yeah, and she's not the only one. A lot of the women are doing really well in Jaka coaching, so I'm super happy to see that.
Awesome. So, you're here in Europe for a few months, right?
Yep.
So where do you actually live?
I live on the road. I've lived on the road for the last 12 out of my 15 years. Literally like 2 carry-ons, no home base, just traveling the tour, and in between, you know, meeting people on the road and visiting them in their home countries.
And you have a 19-month-old.
Yes, so I have changed the way I travel a little bit in the last few years because I'm married, I have a 19-month-old baby. So instead of doing these like every 2 weeks hopping to a new destination, we're doing like 1 to 3 months in a different place. I'm not gonna lie, it's been pretty challenging, and we're kind of learning as we go. But yeah, I think we're kind of shifting to like having like 2 home bases and then being on the road a few months of the year. So yeah, this is kind of the big last hurrah for us. We got to get our kid in daycare and
well, that's
some
what I was
consistency.
wondering. Like, are you going to homeschool, or what's going to happen with that?
We might homeschool eventually. Yeah, we're definitely exploring that.
Well, so I just have 2 more questions for you. The first question is, I know that you coach a lot of exploitive play. Just a brief answer, what's one thing that they can do to help them to elevate their exploitive game?
Okay, so, and here, I'm glad you asked that question because I teach both GTO and exploitative poker, and I get a lot of people who come in and say, well, you know, should I really be doing this GTO stuff? I'm playing $500 buy-ins, nobody plays like that, and it's a very common misconception. So I'm all about study GTO, but play exploitatively. And what that means is GTO just teaches you the base fundamentals of the game.
Right.
And it kind of teaches you all, and once you kind of have that understanding of how both players' ranges interact with each other, it teaches you how to exploit. It's like, okay, these people at my table call every single hand, they don't fold. Well, this is how you should adjust that. Or these people overfold, they play too scared, then this is how you adjust. But if you don't have that GTO understanding, you don't know that baseline where to adjust from. And generally what I see is in these kind of lower stake, more recreational games, people, yes, they play too loose and call too much early on, but once you're in the money and near the final table or even near the money, people actually play too scared. So you're trying to figure out who's folding too much and who's playing too loose and how you're going to attack both of those weaknesses.
Absolutely. Okay, that sounds perfect. And lastly, you might have to think way back, but when did you fall in love with the game? Was there like a particular moment that like lightning struck and you figured out, this is it, this is what I'm going to do? Or was it more of a gradual thing?
So I started playing my freshman year in the dorms at college. I went to University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and at first it was just like a cool way to make money for like college, like to go to the bar or whatever. But I just got really into it. I realized I was really good, had a knack for it. And I started making weekend trips to Vegas from college.
And that was it.
And I remember, like, on one of our first trips, I was sorry.
Yelling for us to wrap it up. We got to get out of here and go to the next party.
On one of our first trips, I was playing at the Bellagio. Samuel Farha on my table. I remember seeing him on TV, heads up at the main event. And I was just like, man, I'm tricking this guy. Like, I felt like I was all playing him, so I was like, I can do this. So that was kind of a moment for me to realize that, oh, I'm not really that far from a professional.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing with Sammy Farha when you're in college, that's pretty awesome.
Before we wrap it up, something really important for the ladies. So, if you want to be ahead of the curve and beating your opponents, there's just 3 things you got to be doing regularly. One of them is consuming some form of learning content. I think that one's kind of obvious, whether it's books or lessons or a coach, whatever. The second thing is you need to be documenting your own hands. I'm always amazed how many people have been playing 10 years and not doing this. So live, document it into a notepad, and online you need to use something like Poker Tracker. If you don't know how to document well, shoot me a DM. I can help you. I have links and short videos to help you with that stuff. The third thing is you need to be talking hands with other players equal or slightly better than you. Literally, those second 2 things are probably more important than going and studying and doing all those other things. Big time overlooked. Just do those three things and you'll be a winning poker player.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thanks, guys.